So this is my old binder, but I just received my Vault-X White Edition. So I thought this would be the perfect time to give you a little binder tour while I transfer from the old one to the new one. And we also have some new additions to add and some changes to make. So you'll see two signatures here. This one is from Jarchon Collectibles and this one is from Jinkies Go. So I'm going to need to get these signatures again for the White Edition. All right, first things first, we just gotta take out all the cards in here. And here are all the cards that came out of that binder. All right, let's open this sweet baby up. All right, let's see these white pages for the first time. Wow. Once I realized the White Edition had white pages, I needed to have it because just like Instagram, I think artwork, like the cards, show up much better on a white background versus a black background. And my number one thing for being a binder collector is curating and showcasing all this beautiful artwork. Now, right off the bat, the first change you're going to make is that this first page is going to be the ultra rare stadium cards. I've met 2 or 3 other collectors while vetting at shows that showed me that they collect these. Not only do they showcase beautiful landscapes, but in most of them, there's a tiny little Pokemon hidden inside of there somewhere. So this first page is going to be planned out for that. I don't have any of those cards yet, but we can get started on the next 2 pages. Now in the old binder, I had 1 trainer page. It was a mix of trainers with Pokemon and some trainers I just liked. But the more I've seen of other trainer cards, I actually expanded this to 2 pages. Now I pre-designed all of my pages in Binder Forge ahead of time, so I can 1, narrow my focus, and 2, see what is the best way to lay out the 12 cards at each page. So let's take out our trainer cards and start putting them in. On the right side, I'm gonna put the trainer cards with Pokemon, and on the left side, I'm gonna put the trainer cards that I think are just really cool. Professor Sycamore goes here. Professor Elm's Lecture. Blacksmith, Giovanni's Charisma, Professor Oak's Setup goes over here, Colress's Experiment, TV Reporter, and then I have these 2 Pokemon fan clubs. Now, they are one of the only cards in my binders that are a little bit more light played, mostly down here on the edges. So I've been on the lookout for cleaner copies because just having non-near mint cards in my binder just kind of bugs me. And our new addition, the Mela. This is actually the card that sparked the expansion to 2 pages because I just loved the colorways of Mela's hair and the Torkoal. And I knew that there were already like 2 or 3 other cards that didn't make the cut originally. So finding enough to make a 2-page spread was perfect. So Mela goes down here. And oh my God, look at that. Already the white pages look so much better. All right, that's it for our trainers. Now the next 2 pages are what I call my Mythical Pokemon promos. And then over here is the Cosmic Eclipse Secret Rares. Let's start with Cosmic Eclipse because this is probably the #1 reason why I chose the 12 pocket binder in the first place, is because 1, there is so much more modularity with going 3 down and 4 across versus just the 9 pocket pages. There are so many little subsets like this that have 12 cards. There's so many other pages that you'll see that have multiples of 2, like the connected artworks. I have 4 across, 2, 2, 2, 2. So having a 12 pocket has just given me so much more creative freedom. Weavile, Piplup, Wishy-Washy, Pikachu, Magnemite, Coughing. Wait, hold on. This Pikachu is the one and only coin flip I have ever done. I believe I got it for 70, and if I lost a coin flip, I would have paid 80. Gallade, Mimikyu, Excadrill, Steelix, and Stoutland. Now over here are promo cards of all the mythical Pokemon. The only one I think that didn't make the cut is the Volcanion, because out of everybody, even Magearna, Volcanion I have the least attachment to. Mew EX holding the flower. Now this card in Japanese with the star holofoil pattern is actually a chase of mine. I would really want to get that in a slab, but that is going to be one expensive slab. Oh my god, I am so excited for this white edition. Doesn't this look so much better than having black pages? In a perfect world, I would like a white binder, front and pages, but the rim, the zipper trim, would be colorful, like a lot of the set-specific Vaultex binders. Alright, my next two pages are some trainer galleries. Now you'll see that both of these pages have a few blank spots. They were completed not too long ago, but then I sacrificed some of the cards to put into my collector starter packs. Over here, it is the Mew and the Kricketune that I sacrificed, and I actually sold that binder to Sam, who was brand new in the hobby, so that was well worth it to me. And they're both cards that aren't that hard to come by in good condition, so I was more than happy to part with it to get somebody into the hobby. Now this side is completely Galarian Gallery stuff, but over here is a bit of a mix. At the top are the Brilliant Stars Eevee cards. I had to sacrifice the Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon to put in a starter pack as well. But again, I am more than happy to sacrifice those pretty common cards. Now when it comes to determining what goes into my binder, it always starts with one theme for the page, and then from there, I pick 12 cards that look good together. A lot of the times, it's one card that starts the theme, and I try to find 11 cards to go around it. All right, there are our trainer galleries. Next up, we have some of the cards that got me back into the hobby. The top 3 things that I saw TikToks of and got me back into the hobby were the Gardevoir line from base set. Number 2, the fact that there are God packs in Prismatic Evolutions. And 3, a bunch of these cards where Pokemon are working jobs, a lot of the times with other humans too. You got Porygon being a little hacker man in the studio. Excadrill sharing its lunch break with other miners. Lairon being a trash compactor. Varoom working on an engine. Now one of the changes we're gonna make is the Magnezone. I'm gonna replace with the Japanese Magnezone so that it has a silver border instead of a yellow border, because it just bugs me that it's the only one on the page that has a yellow border. So Magnezone, I'm sorry, but goodbye. Now we have Steelix acting as an elevator on a construction site. We have Metagross snow plowing a bunch of big snowballs. Chansey working in the Pokemon Center. Torkoal helping out blasting some pottery. Mudsdale helping kick some hay bales into the trailer. Timber helping build a house. Golurk helping haul some trees. And that concludes our working jobs page. And over here is what I like to call city life. So first off, it's Garbodor in his home environment of the dump. Riolu making a mess in the living room. Easkew looking for a snack in the fridge. Lickitung sneaking a taste of the ice cream. Pikachu exploring the city, and this is actually my first ever hit that came out of my first ever pack from entering back in the hobby. I pulled this and the Hyper Rare Mew back to back, and it was game over since then. And we've got Persian looking out into the city life. We have Mewtwo looking down on the city. Ferrothorn living its best life in a beautiful modern home. Alakazam messing around with his telepathy. Sudowoodo keeping guard and also adding to the decor of the home. Cyclozar is parked outside waiting for their trainers. Now Probopass set up in the middle of a courtyard, and there is just so much life going on around him. Now this next page is what I call the clean cards. It started with the Slackoth, the Cresselia, and the Cleffa. Just simple compositions with expansive, beautiful artwork. The Iron Moth, Slackoth, Cresselia, Cleffa, Wailord, Fracture, Dragonair, Billybolt, Magby, Grotle, Gloom, Iron Jugulus, and that concludes the clean cards page. And on the right side, to go with it, I have colorful cards. Starting with the Minoir, Toadschool. This Loudred is also one of my favorite cards when I first started collecting. I've always loved Loudred and Exploud. Zeraora. And just like the Magnezone, this Keldeo I'm going to be replacing with the Japanese version, because then it has a silver border instead of a gold one, and it would be the only one on this page with a yellow border, and that would annoy me. So Keldeo, I'll see you soon in Japanese. We've got Screamtail, and Noibat, Bronzor, Dondozo, Ethan's Typhlosion, and Hydrapple. Now, apart from the Keldeo that goes here, the only one I was missing before that was the Espathra. Now, this next theme is what I call the packs of Pokemon or hordes of Pokemon, and we're gonna be making a few changes here. Now, first off, we have the Beedrill. And here we have two cards that are no longer going to make the cut. The Applin is where this started because I love how it was just an apple tree with a bunch of little Pokemon. And then the Appleton, I just liked having next to it. Thought they looked really good together. So these two are going to be making space for the Eevee and the Chateau. Right now, the next one we have is Reuniclus, the Flamigo, Cufant, and the Farigiraf. Now, those few changes aside, we were already missing a few cards. We have the Ghastly over here that's on the street with a bunch of other Gengars and Hauntors. We got the King Gambit here that's lined up with his army. Paldean Tauros here with the sunset in the background. Just looks so good next to this colorway and the Eevee up top. Over here we have the Mousehold. And that's all we have for the packs of Pokemon page right now. Moving on to the Sleepy Pokemon page. Now, another thing I love to do is to start with one heavy hitter of a card and put a bunch of other cards in the theme around it. And over here, we got three big boys. It is the Test Tube Mewtwo GX, the Sleepy Tyranitar, and over here, the Sleepy Dragonite V. I made the huge mistake of not just getting the Dragonite V earlier when it was only like $2 to $250, and now this guy is almost $500 raw. So if there's one lesson I tell you, unless you just look at the graph on TCG Player and it just blew up exponentially, disregard the price, and if you love it, just buy it. That is what I'm gonna start to do, so I'm gonna focus on getting some of the expensive cards before they get even more expensive, and then come back to the lower end. Now here's the Koraidon that is not going to make the cut anymore. He is going to be replaced with the new Liepard. Goodbye, Koraidon. Now I love this card because Tagalog pig is Lechon and he is Lechonk. Perfect. And we've got the Squovit sleeping on the couch. And the pack of Pommies that are sleeping and the one shiny that is awake. So of our new pickups, here is the Liepard, and she is gonna go in here. I am really excited to show you where these two cards go in my binder. So the only things we have left are again those three big cards, then over here the Sleepy Raichu and the Bulbasaur in the windowsill. Next page is another reason why I got back into the hobby is because I saw all of these connecting artworks. And the latest additions have been the Gem Pack 2 EVs. So this is the Leafeon that goes on the left, the Sylveon that goes second, the Umbreon that goes third, and then on the right is the Eevee. And as you can see, all four make one seamless picture. Then we have the Goldango that connects to the Gimmighoul, the Milotic on top, which connects to the Phoebus. And the only cards we have left over here are the Plusle and the Minun that I sacrificed towards one of the collector starter packs. And what I used to have here was the Deerling and the Sawsbuck, but I've replaced those to chase the Latios and Latias from Surging Sparks. We don't have any of those four right now. And next up are similar to connected artworks, but instead they are connected storylines. So the Duskull starting off on the street, the Dusclops peeking over the hedge, and the Dusknoir waving into the window. And here is the line that started it all, the Ralts moving into the house. And now our couple is older, they've had their first child, and Ralts has evolved into Kirlia. And finally, our couple has grown into their elderly years, and Gardevoir is helping them knit. Then we have the Fuecoco, who is looking so adorable in the shopping cart. Crocolore, who's grabbing a few apples. And now the Skeledirge that's helping carry all the heavy stuff. The Frigibax. The Arctibax. And the Baxcalibur. Now next up is a page that I am far from completing but very excited for. I tried to make some pages of the legendary trios, but only these ones made sense and looked really pretty color palette wise. It's going to be the legendary dogs over here, their Paradox forms, then the version 2 legendary dogs from Black and White, and then their Paradox versions here. And the Raikou I just picked up, he's going to be a brand new addition. Raikou goes down here, and we've got a long ways to go on this page. Next up is what I call the Doodly page. Artworks that are clearly fun, cartoony designs. The biggest one here is going to be the Bubble Mew and the Mew EX promo over here. But right now, I have the Rotom. And one of my favorite cards to ever come out, this is probably top 5 for me, is the Dwebble. Looking on the beach into the glass at his reflection. I have yet to do one of those binders with a bunch of the same card. This is a top contender. And of my latest purchases, the Clobbopus is going to go on this page. All right, we are moving on. Now these are the last 2 pages before the centerfold, and I have a big grand plan for the centerfold, but boy is it going to be expensive and take a while. But before we get to that, these 2 pages are going to be a mix of Destined Rivals and some other cards with trainers in them that I think make the perfect pair. On the left is going to be all of the Team Rocket's Pokemon, and all of these Team Rocket cards I was able to pull myself from our opening every single Destined Rivals product video. Now over here are some of the Cynthia and Misty cards from Destined Rivals, and a mix of some older cards with trainers in them as well. We've got the trainer card Cynthia, which goes over here. The Cynthia's Garchomp, the Garchomp V, Cynthia's Roserade, Starmie V, Misty's Lapras. From Journey Together, the Hops Wooloo. This was fighting for its spot in the clean cards page, but I was able to find this perfect new theme to fit him into. And the Lily's Clefairy. All right, and here we finally have our centerfold. Now this is probably going to be not only the prettiest page, but also the most expensive page in the binder. Not only are we paying the EV tax on everything, we have 2 of the most expensive modern cards, and they're both Umbreons. The only 2 I have right now are the Vaporeon, which goes over here, and the Jolteon, which goes over here. We're gonna start from V to V Max, and then the EXs from Prismatic Evolutions. One day we'll complete that page. Now over here, we have some really cool gold border cards. On the left is some of the OG Mega Evolution cards. We got the starters in gold here, then the Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre over here, and some of my favorite Megas on the other 2 columns. So we got Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard, and Mega Blastoise, Mega Gardevoir. And that completes our Megas page. And over here is by far my favorite page and the one I'm chasing the most right now. It is the XY gold border cards. There are 8 of them, and I found that perfectly. The 4 golden V-Star Creation Gods go perfectly up top. We've got the blue Mewtwo, the Evolto EX, which is the first one I ever came across from. I was stunned by how beautiful this card looked in person, and I've discovered all of the other 7, and here we are. And then the Volcanion, the Gardevoir, the Alakazam, and 2 brand new additions, the Gyarados and the Giratina V-Star. Got the Gyarados and the Giratina. Once this is complete, this is going to be my favorite 2-page spread. Also, of course, the centerfold. Next up are going to be 2 more very hard pages to curate. Not only hard, but also expensive. Left side is going to be all the plasma full arts, which I have absolutely 0 of. And on the right are my favorite tag team cards. Right now, I only have the Solgaleo and Lunala. I love this and the Reshiram GX, where the trainers are riding their Pokemon. And the only other one I have is the Buzzwole and Pheromosa. Now both the Solgaleo and Lunala and the Reshiram and Zekrom, I want both of them. So the one they're riding, the one they're just standing badass, and riding. Besides those, I really want the babies first, then the Magikarp, probably the legendary birds, then Snorlax, and then these three, kind of just whatever when I get to them. And next, back to Ultra Modern. At the time of recording this video, Mega Evolutions just dropped, so I'm starting to pick up a lot of the black and white cards. I played so much black and white, it might be my most played Pokemon games, and so I have a lot of attachment to a lot of these guys. On the left side, it's another colorful page. I really love the Sawsbuck over here because of the lighting, and the same with the Tortuga over here. And on the right side of the cards that I love more for the storytelling, we've got the Fungus here, the Clink, the Dewott, which I like a lot more than the Oshawott, the Lampent, and then two brand new pickups, the Electric and the Fracture, probably one of my favorite cards. And the last card that doesn't even have a home yet is the Ninjask from Mega Evolution. I've yet to pick the 12 cards that I would like to have from Mega Evolution, but this guy is so beautiful with the sun in the background. Let's just give him a home on this next page right here for now. Ninjask, we'll find some friends for you soon. So in summary, these are the 5 cards that I'm getting rid of today. These 2 I'm going to replace with the Japanese versions because they have silver borders, and these 3 are just going to be added to the vending inventory. Now that all the cards are in, let's take a little tour, shall we? Actually, it's been a couple weeks and I picked up a bunch of more cards, so let's do another update. We picked up 7 of the Golden Stadium cards, Artisan, Gravity Mountain, Gapejaw Bog, Jubilife Village, Levincia, Collapsed Stadium, and the Temple of Sinnoh. And then we have 4 trainer cards, the Jock, the Briar, Bianca's Devotion, and Penny. And then I bought back the Brilliant Stars Eevees that I had to sacrifice, Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon. And for the Crown Zenith page, I bought back the Kricketune I sacrificed, but we still need to get another Mew. And then I was able to find the 2 Japanese trainer galleries that I'm putting on the pages with all silver borders. So first is the Magnezone, which goes onto the Jobs page, then the Keldeo that goes on the colorful cards, and lastly, for the colorful cards page, we finally have the Espathra. Now that page is finally complete. And for the Packs of Pokemon page, we have the Kingambit with his army, the Paldean Tauros, and the Maushold. And over here on the Sleepy page, we picked up the Sleepy Raichu. Next is the connected artworks, and we made some changes. We took out the Chinese Eevees and we're gonna put them all on a Chinese page that I've added in the back. And on the top left, we're gonna have the Plusle and the Minun. And I found out that the Ninjask connects to the Shedinja. So the Ninjask is going here, and the Shedinja right below it. Then we have the Golisopod, and that is going to connect to the Wimpod. And then over here is the Latios and Latias from Surging Sparks. And for the Legendary Dogs page, I have the Virizion, which goes over here. And for the Doodly page, we kind of redesigned it and also picked up 6 cards. So the Rotom is going to move from there just over to the right. Vanillish is going to go where the Rotom was. Palafin goes on the top right. Solosis, or the Booger Mew, is going to go under Clobbopus. We got the Diplin, Shuckle, and the Amoonguss. Now, two really cool pickups for the Cynthia and Misty page. First off is the Misty Psyduck, which is going to complete those 3 sets of cards. And a really cool trade we did was the Rayquaza V for a 151 Charizard plus a Blissey V. I bought those 2 cards on my table for 75% and straight traded them for this guy at a trade night. He goes on the bottom left. All we need left for this page is the Lugia V and the Ethan Ho-Oh from Destined Rivals. And for our Centerfold, we picked up our very first prismatic one. Came to my table, so I bought it at 80%. He's gonna go at the bottom right. And from the same collector, I also got the Flareon VMAX, which goes right over here. And next is my favorite success story from vending so far, is the Solgaleo and Lunala. Now, I bought a Blastoise and Piplup for, I believe, 80% at the time of market, which was $295. And then somebody came to me with this, wanting to trade towards that Blastoise and put $50 on top. So essentially, I got this card for $245, when the market price right now is, and that is a big goal of my vending journey. This card goes right next to the other one. Now, my first priority for this page is the Reshiram and Zekrom, and also the one where Anne is riding. And then we have a bunch of cards for our black and white pages. Sigilyph goes on the bottom left, Elgyem right above it, and the Munna at the top. Then the Woobat, Timpole, and the Sawsbuck. That was the colorful page, and now for my favorites, the Joltik on the lamppost, the Whirlipede in action, 2 Bisharps in the Gladiator pit, Ian Shao with the Littles watching, this adorable Shelmet card where he's playing with the water hose, and lastly, the Genesect. And we have one more card that's going to go in the brand new page we've created, which is going to be Japanese exclusives and some Chinese exclusives. The Cerulege I'm going to put right next to the Chandelure. The Chandelure and the Meowth I pulled from 2 packs of Gem Pack 3, 1 in each. Then I would love to have all 4 of the 151s up here, the 3 starters, the Arcanine, and some other things to fill out the gaps. This isn't the most concrete right now because initially I wanted all the Chinese and Japanese exclusives in slabs, and I do have some of those, but it's starting to take its toll. But that is the updated binder as of November 9th. Let's do one final tour, shall we? We got the Golden Stadiums, trainer cards, trainers with Pokemon, Mythical Pokemon promos, Cosmic Eclipse secret rares, a mixture of trainer gallery cards, Zenith Galarian gallery cards, Pokemon Working Jobs page, the City Life page, the clean cards and the newly finished colorful cards, our packs of Pokemon and our sleepy Pokemon, connected artworks, connected storylines, legendary dogs and their paradox forms, doodly cards over here with the Bubble Mew. We have the Glory of Team Rocket cards, and the Hot Wind Arena, and some other cards with trainers in them. The Centerfold of all the EVs, all the EVVs, all the VMAXs, and all the prismatic cards. The OG Mega Evolutions over here. We got the Mega Ray, Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, and some other favorites. The XY Gold border cards, and at the top, the Golden V-Star Creation Gods. Team Plasma, which we have 0 of, and then Tag Team. More colorful cards from Black and White, and then my favorite Black and White cards via Story. And lastly, the foreign exclusives. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I have in my binder, and hopefully it inspired you to design yours.